The Backbone and the PlayStation Portal are two of the most talked about devices in handheld gaming right now, especially for PlayStation gamers. But which one is worth your money? Let's break down everything you need to know so you make the best choice for your gaming setup, as your gaming setup might be in your house most of the time, or you might be out traveling. Now, these devices could not be any more different, which is why it's really important to talk about, is it better to have a dedicated device all in one for all your remote play adventures, or is it better to have something that just fits into your pocket? Well, the Backbone is ultra portable, small enough to slip into your pocket with the phone attached actually. If you want to risk it, I wouldn't do that, you're probably going to snap it, but it still would fit. And as you can see, it is on my iPhone here, and you get versions for the iPhone and for Android using a USB-C connector, or if you have an older iPhone, you have a Lightning connector. That's the one I've got here, and it works really well. It just clicks on in, it holds your phone pretty securely. You can see here, shaking it about. But the Portal's bigger size makes it, I would say, less better for travel. You still can, you just need to get a carry case or a backpack for it, but it is much more immersive than this. But this is much more portable. So if you're in your house most of the time for your gaming, you just want a second screen, I think the Portal's the way to go. But if you're out and about constantly, this might be the best option, as you only really need to bring the Backbone. You're probably going to have your phone on you, and the Backbone, once you take it off this, it is really small. Fit it in a backpack, pocket, anywhere, you name it, you will be fine with this for some quick gaming sessions. That's the flexibility you get with the Backbone. As I said, detached it and it is tiny, and then also you keep using your phone for whatever other tasks. But I guess that's a bit of a downside as well, is when you are using this for your gaming, your phone is kind of out of action because you're playing games on it. I know you still get your messages and your phone calls and all that stuff, but it's just not as clean as having a dedicated device, because your phone battery will also be getting absolutely hammered. This does have a kind of straight through pass-through charging here, so you can plug this in via USB-C and then just sit and play it. It will not drain your battery, it will charge your battery, but it does not have any battery capacity in the actual Backbone device. So it's not like you can charge it up or anything, it's just a straight through. It's as if you're just plugging your phone into the wall and playing your games on your phone. So keep that in mind, whereas this does charge and you'll have a good 5-hour gaming session out of this, no problemo. And I guess, Mr. Obvious here, you don't need a phone for this, you can just play this. Now that's probably all more of interest to you if you are staying in your house or if you're traveling. Those points we just made are probably more key to that, but what about setting that aside and then the actual gameplay experience? What is it like playing PlayStation games on these devices? Which one is the best? Well, let's have a little chat about it right now to see which is the most authentic PlayStation experience, because after all, this is a PlayStation channel. This is all about PlayStation gamers deciding, should I get a Portal or should I get a Backbone? And the PlayStation Portal mimics the PlayStation 5's DualSense controller pretty much perfectly. It is fantastic. All the buttons feel exactly as they do on your DualSense. We've said this in about a million videos, but this is like a DualSense cut in half with a screen smashed in the middle. It's awesome, really comfortable. You will not get a more comfortable handheld than this, or remote play accessory as it's officially called. And you know, you get all the adaptive triggers, you get all the different DualSense features with haptic feedback. The sticks are a nice size as well. I know I do have my stick covers on here, which I recommend you get. These ones are from D brand, thank you for sending me them. You can also get them in black, and they just make that little bit of difference where it is a bit more accurate. But if you take these off, and we're just talking about the standard Portal versus the Backbone, big difference. This thing here is literally like a Nintendo Switch. You can hardly even see it there because it's so dark, but yes, trust me, the buttons, and in particular, so I've played a lot of games on this. I've actually had this for a long time, and I've been putting off doing the video because I really wanted to get my head around it, playing it a lot. to do a fair comparison so it wasn't rushed out. But the shoulder buttons on this and the triggers, they're like so thin. Like, look at that. You can easily be pressing that and then hit the other one by accident. This does have a little bit of travel, which is cool. Not much, nowhere near as much as the actual DualSense controller does. You can just see the difference right there. I mean, that, and it has the feedback, obviously. This has no rumble feature at all on it. The Portal, the backbone has no rumble features. It is literally a controller. So the benefit is the buttons, which is huge, because who wants to play touchscreen on a phone? It's just the worst experience ever. I don't recommend it at all. But the screen size then comes into play here, depending on the size of your phone. This is an iPhone 12 Pro Max, I think it's called, and it's a decent sized screen. I think it's about 6 inches or so, but you've got the 8-inch screen on the Portal, which is a 1080p LCD panel. It looks amazing. I know depending on your phone, you may have, like, this has got an OLED screen, so it pops, you know, more vibrant colors, deeper blacks. But it's kind of annoying. There's always these borders around the screen when you're playing on the backbone. So you've already got a smaller screen real estate, unless you've got a huge foldable phone or something. I don't know. But I would imagine your phone screen is smaller than the 8-inch screen on the Portal. And then it's made even smaller by these borders at each side, which you can't get rid of. It's really annoying, but it is what it is. So you need to bear that in mind when you're picking this up, especially when you're playing games with a lot of text. See, if it's games with a lot of small text, I was playing some RPGs and stuff, even like playing like Miles Morales, but in particular it caught my eye when I was playing like The Witcher, and then even some tutorials and racing games. You can hardly see what it's saying to you. I remember I was playing this monster truck game, and it was like, press this button to do this trick or this stunt or whatever, and I could hardly see that it was saying press in R3, so it was really, really small. If you have amazing eyesight and you're not like me, you might be all right, but I would err on caution with that. Depending on what type of games you play, it might not be the most comfortable experience, depending on the size of your screen. I know that's more on about your phone than your actual backbone device, but you kind of lump them into one thing because you can't use the one without the other. Well, for what we're talking about anyways. And the controller layout. So we have the symmetrical stick layout on the Portal, and then we've got the, I guess it's the classic Xbox layout, isn't it? It may take some getting used to if you are constantly playing on PlayStation and have never really played on Xbox or, you know, Switch, for example. But I found it okay. I'm used to it with playing on other platforms as well, so it didn't really bother me. But the sticks are very small, so they lend themselves better to certain games more than others. For driving games and stuff, they were okay. Excuse me. For shooting games, they are not the best. You will get used to it, obviously, but for accuracy, it's the same as playing on the Switch. If you've got a Switch, it's just not the best for first-person shooter games or any games where you need a lot of accuracy. And then again, you've got that multiplier, I would say, here by the smaller sticks, which are difficult to be accurate with, and then a really small screen, which is, you know, you're aiming at tiny targets. So the Portal shines there versus this. If you play a lot of games, for example, I was playing Doom Eternal, and it was really good fun on the Portal. Playing on the backbone was just, it's not a fun experience. It's really, really difficult. So that's a key point if you are playing games like Call of Duty, for example. I know how popular Call of Duty and Fortnite, Apex Legends, all these kind of games are. The Portal is better for that than the backbone, 100%. Then the next comparison, which I think is a fair one to make here, is the buttons. So what is cool about this, they do have the PlayStation icons on the buttons here, which is really, really nice, but they're very, very clicky. I don't know if they're very cheap or it just sounds like that, but let's see if you can hear these through the microphone. This is the X button. Oh, sorry, this is the circle button. See that versus if you try on the Portal. That just feels like a DualSense controller. This again feels like a Switch controller with the button clicks, but even more clicky. Same with with the sticks when you click them in. These are clicky as well. There's not a lot of travel and a little bit of feedback, but the Portal definitely wins out on the comfort and the, I guess, just the all-round controller build and feel. This I know this is a premium product, but it feels a lot cheaper than the Portal. I know it is, but it's worth calling out that it does feel a lot cheaper. And for a gameplay experience point of view, it's really small. I don't know if you guys can really see, but see, after playing this for a while, it's not very comfortable. This is ideal for blasts of, quick blasts of games when you're maybe chilling out for a bit. So I think a lot of indie games, like I was playing, what was it called? Vampire Survivors, stuff like that. It's fine for things like that. If you're going on a epic journey in a game for hours, I would recommend the Portal. It is far more comfortable in your hands. I started to feel this in my thumbs, just run about here. I can really feel it here actually as well. I was playing this for a while before recording, just to refresh my memory so I didn't forget anything. But you're kind of bending your hand in weird ways. You almost have to hold it kind of up high. I don't know. If you've got huge hands, go for the PlayStation Portal. I would maybe give the Backbone a miss for that. So when it comes to an actual gameplay experience, this is definitely number one and this is number two. But like we mentioned in the previous points, the portability aspect and factor here is pretty huge. If you are just constantly out and about, want something you can chuck in your bag and not worry about, this is definitely better for that than the Portal, which is a big hefty beast. Look at the size difference of these things. I mean, there's like no comparison. You could fit almost the Backbone in the screen. Well, maybe not, that was a bit of exaggeration, but you see what I mean. There's a big difference. Big difference there. And some preference comes into which one do you think looks better. I think they both look really good, and for a mobile controller, I think the Backbone's the best looking one I've seen. The fact this is an officially licensed PlayStation version with the icons on the buttons, I think it's fab, really good. So let's talk about the D-pad, because that can be important, and it's actually pretty good. It feels quite similar in texture when you press it and feedback to the one on the Portal and on your DualSense, so it's maybe a little bit firmer, but that's pretty good. And I think this looks fantastic. It looks a great bit of kit, doesn't it? It's very nice. It's my favorite looking remote play controller for PlayStation that I've seen yet. And look at it in the back. I mean, how cool is that? PlayStation logo there. I like it a lot. But that doesn't mean that the Portal is going to run away with this, because let's talk about something else which is really important in gameplay, and that's actually hearing what's going on in the game. Audio. So there's a big difference here in audio compatibility between the Backbone and the Portal. If you've got some nice wired headphones or a nice pair of Bluetooth gaming headphones, which I think a lot of you out there will, this is the one for you, because yes, this has Bluetooth because it's just connecting to your phone. If your phone has Bluetooth, you have Bluetooth on this to use when using your Backbone. And if you've got a phone, for example, this iPhone doesn't have a headphone jack, it's all good. There's a headphone jack on the bottom of the Backbone, so you can plug in via the 3.5mm headphone jack. That is absolutely awesome. And yeah, big positive for the Backbone over the Portal, which annoyingly doesn't have Bluetooth. You need to fork out some big cash for a PlayStation Link compatible earbud or headphones like the Pulse Explorer or the Pulse Elite, and they will set you back a lot of money. They will both cost you pretty much the same as your PlayStation Portal does. So if you're thinking about getting one of these and you must have wireless audio, double the price of this, and we'll talk about the price of both of these in a minute. So you go to pick a Portal or a Backbone and you think, right, what are my actual gameplay options here? What games can I play on them and how do I play them? Well, the Backbone actually has the Portal beat here also. Well, if you're a multi-platform gamer, that is. If you're only on PlayStation, the Portal actually has a trick up its sleeve which this doesn't, so let's get into that right now. This supports everything you can play on your phone, no surprises there. So if you play some mobile games, like maybe you're playing Call of Duty Mobile, you can play that with this. If you have an Xbox and you maybe have Game Pass Ultimate, well, without that you can do remote play to your Xbox also, but you can also do cloud streaming of games, Xbox games via Game Pass Ultimate to this, with a catch which I'll talk about in the next section because I'm not a fan of it, and I think it may impact what happens with this device and PlayStation Plus cloud streaming in the future, so stay tuned for that because I think that's a biggie. You can also connect this to your PC and things like GeForce Now, and actually what is cool, you can use this as a controller when you're playing emulated games on your iPhone. So if you've got, you know, any of these emulators downloaded and you're playing some old school games on it, you can use this for it. So that's really cool. There's a lot of applications you can use the Backbone for, which increases its value. Let's get real. Maybe you're not just only on PlayStation, maybe you like to dabble elsewhere. This is the one for you potentially. But now let's compare that to the Portal. So the Portal, you can play games from your PlayStation via remote play as we mentioned, but the trick this one has up its sleeve right now is this: you have got access to the cloud streaming beta if you have a subscription to PlayStation Plus Premium, which we'll also touch on that in the next part where we talk about the cost of these devices. But if you want to play right now PlayStation games straight from the cloud, this is your only handheld option right now, and that means you can get this and play games without a PlayStation 5. You do not need a PlayStation 5 to do this, you just need your PlayStation Plus Premium subscription. Whereas to play PlayStation 5 games on the Backbone right now, you need a PlayStation 5 because you're just using remote play. This has remote play and it also has the cloud streaming beta. So which one is best for you there? It depends if you are full on into the PlayStation ecosystem and that is all you're playing. If you're only interested in PlayStation games, I think this is the way to go. If you're playing on other platforms and you like to play a little bit of everything here, there and everywhere, the Backbone might be worth a second look in that regard. Now to the big one, the cost, because that's so important with these things. Obviously we can talk about the functionality and everything it does, but how much money will it cost you to play these and to get your hands on them? Which is actually two separate things here, which we're going to break down. First off, just to buy the device and get your hands on it, it is $100 for the Backbone, and it is double the price for the Portal. It is $200. Whoa. Is that worth double the price of this? I actually think yes, because I think this is overpriced. I picked this up on sale and I recommend you keep your eyes peeled for it when it goes on offer. I got it for, I think it was round about 60 or 70. I actually think it's probably only worth, well, who knows what they make these things for, but I think it should be round about 50 for this because it is just a simple controller which you add on to your phone. They probably have to pay a bit more for the licensing here because it's an official PlayStation one. Okay, I get it, but still, we'll see how it holds out in the long run. I will do a follow-up video for the longevity of this thing, so keep your eyes peeled for that on the channel and subscribe if you want to see that. It will actually be coming soon because I've had this for a while and we'll talk about that even more. But that's a big difference in price. So if your budget is squeezed and you really want to get a device for remote play and you've already got a phone, because bear that in mind, if you don't have a phone, say you're just a kid that wants to get one of these but you don't have a phone, this is actually a lot more expensive because you don't really get I guess, super cheap phones these days, under 200. So you'd have a phone for under 200 and the backbone to add on there for another 100. Nah, just get this thing. If you've already got a decent phone, this might be the way to go. But that's not the only cost you need to think about. Once you get your hands on these, they actually both have subscriptions you need to be aware of. Some are better than others. So first off is the Portal with PlayStation Plus Cloud Streaming Beta. That's what it's called right now. Really great, slick name. It just rolls off the tongue. Hopefully they change its name. But anyways, you need the PlayStation Plus Premium subscription to play the PlayStation Plus Cloud Streaming Beta. So if you don't have a PlayStation 5 and you buy this and you want to play PlayStation 5 games on it, you need a PlayStation Plus subscription. I'll put the latest prices up on screen because I'm not sure what they are. They change all the time. And I do have a video on the channel which you should check out where I show you how to get it a bit cheaper. But this is a lot of money. It adds up over the course of the year. PlayStation Plus Premium is not cheap, but if you already have PlayStation Plus Premium like I do, I subscribe to it anyway because I just want access to all the games and all the features that come with it. This is a great addition for the Portal. It makes the Portal way, way better. And I would say since that update has rolled out, I've probably played more games via cloud gaming on the Portal than playing them via remote play. Why is that? Well, cloud gaming, it just seems to work a lot quicker. I think it actually works better than the remote play, bizarrely enough. But bear that in mind, that can be a big cost which can add up, especially over the course of the year. Now for this is where it gets really interesting, and I'm not a fan of it at all. So, and hear me out with this, I need to explain this so it makes sense to you, because I think it will impact the cloud streaming beta when it rolls out of beta and it launches everywhere, how that will be implemented on the backbone. Because you might be thinking, I'll get the backbone just now, I've got a PlayStation 5, and then I will just play via the cloud streaming when that rolls out, because that will roll out, and I've already got PlayStation Plus Premium. Well, there's a subscription service which they kind of ram down your throat in this. It is shown to you all the time. I don't think, it was a while ago I set this up, but if I remember correctly, I could not actually complete the setup without signing up for the free trial for Backbone Plus. That's what it's called. Their subscription service is called Backbone Plus. And it gives you a bunch of features. I'll put some of the stuff on screen, right? But none of them are really worth it at all. The only one which jumped out to me and I was like, what, that's behind a paywall, was cloud streaming of games. So if you wanted to play Xbox games from the cloud, if you have Game Pass Ultimate, that was behind a paywall for for Backbone Plus. Same with Nvidia GeForce Now. That's behind the paywall for Backbone Plus. And I was thinking, this is stupid, like why? And it's $40 a year. So just to access cloud gaming when you already are paying for the cloud gaming subscription with, Game Pass Ultimate, for example, that's the one I have. So I was like, this is weird. Let me look into this a bit more. And I just added Game Pass Ultimate as a browser shortcut on the phone's desktop, accessed it through the browser, played a game and plugged the controller in, and the controller works perfectly without Backbone Plus. So they basically want you to kind of pay for nothing for cloud streaming anyway. I think it's really weird and I'm not a fan of it. I don't know why they're doing that. It just doesn't, it's not a good look. That's what I think. There is other features that you get with Backbone Plus which may be of interest to you, like if you want to do some screen capturing, for example. They've got that built in to the device. That's what this little buttons here is for, but not for $40 a year. Not a fan, don't like it. So as soon as the month trial ended, I cancelled it, and I wouldn't recommend you subscribe to it. If you get it, just get this for remote play. But why was that big long-winded story important there, Murray? Well, I'm going all the way back round to PlayStation Plus streaming cloud beta, or my head's fried, whatever it's called. I think when that rolls out of beta and it becomes available here, they will put it behind the paywall of Backbone Plus the same way they have done with Game Pass Ultimate Cloud Streaming. So that would mean, unless it works standalone in the PlayStation app, which I'm sure it will, and you don't know this, you've not watched this video, you're not aware of it, they would be looking for you to be buying the Backbone, buying a PlayStation Plus premium subscription, and then buying a Backbone Plus subscription. That's wild. So yeah, big difference. So big consideration there for you all people is the long-term cost of the Backbone and the potential subscription service if you want to use that. Who knows, they may change it that you need to use it for something, I don't know. And then the Portal's price and PlayStation Plus Premium, which I recommend if you have a Portal. I really think it's worth getting PlayStation Plus Premium also. But you might be all about remote play, and that's totally fine, I get it. A lot of people just don't like cloud gaming. I actually don't like cloud gaming much myself, but it works really well on the Portal, and that's pretty much the only place where I do play cloud gaming. But if you're only about remote play, the options are endless for you. You can pick which device fits your needs best and not need to worry about any of the subscription stuff. With all that being said, who should buy? What should you buy? A Portal or should you buy a Backbone? Well, I think this is how you should all approach this, and this is how I've broken it down. I think you should buy the Backbone. Choose this if you want a lightweight, pocket-sized option for gaming everywhere, and if you play games across multiple platforms, including mobile and Xbox Game Pass, like I've mentioned. And it's more budget friendly. It's still a premium bit of kit at full price. It looks premium. It feels pretty good, other than the things I've been saying. I mean, a lot of mobile controllers for your phones don't feel particularly good. I think this one's not too bad considering, but it's still a lot of money, but it's a lot less money than the Portal. So who should choose the Portal? Choose the PlayStation Portal if you want a seamless PlayStation remote play experience and a cloud streaming experience of your PlayStation games. If you value immersive screen, haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, all that sort of stuff which you can only get with the Portal, that means that's the one you should pick. And if you prefer a dedicated device that just mimics the PlayStation 5's look and feel, it does it way better than the Backbone. The Backbone has the icons on there, but as soon as you pick up and play it, it doesn't feel anything like a DualSense, whereas this does. This then all boils down to your gaming style, your gaming lifestyle, and your budget. So comment down below if you're Team Backbone, or are you Team Portal, or should you actually be Team Absolute? Yes, find out in our standoff between the Absolute and Portal in this video on screen now.